Hello everyone, my name is Mary Lay. I'm a graduate student with the Chamberlain College of Nursing, and I'm working on my Master's of Nursing Education. And this is my submission video for Homegrown Solutions. This is a stage 4 pressure ulcer. So the reason I came up with this was I wanted a way that was cheap enough and easy enough for nursing students to kind of create their own simulation devices at home so they could practice. And my first project is this stage 4 pressure ulcer. You can measure it, you can change the dressing, repack it with a wet to dry, or if you put a bigger margin on it, I would think would be needed for back dressing. But either way, it's cost about $9 and change to make, and I think it will last for 100 years. It would be good for nursing programs that are on a budget and can't afford some of these more expensive silicone devices, that they could, with a little creativity, start making their own. So I've got a few that I've developed and the videos will be coming, but this one is for the stage 4 pressure ulcer. Let's see if we can get a little closer view. It's just in a little plastic container that used to have dark chocolate espresso beans in it. Chocolate covered espresso beans, delicious. Anyway, it's I don't know, 4 inches square by maybe 2 inches deep. This, small as it looks, did take about a tube and a half or so of silicone, so those looks can be deceiving. And let's have a quick look at the supplies that you'll need to make this, okay? First up, we have some 100% silicone clear. I know it says non-paintable on there, but don't worry about that. We're going to take care of that. That's your caulk, okay, and a caulking gun. And you'll need something to serve as a mold. I didn't have another nifty little plastic box, so I've got just the cut-off bottom of a soda bottle here. You'll need a rock to serve as the impression that you're going to make for the wound. And I like this salt and pepper granite because the texture of it is really nice, and it's irregular, and it just worked out really well for me. Also, you need some dish soap to serve as a release agent. After we get that made and set just a little bit with a nice thick skin on it, it'll take 2 months or longer to dry completely, but that doesn't mean you can't use it, because it is usable just as soon as it gets a decent skin on it, which is just a couple of days. Okay, to make the paint, what you need is just some everyday regular craft paint. I mix up my own colors, so I've got red and yellow and blue, and then I've got a white and a black. You need a solvent for the silicone, which is also in the paint, and I found that this is silicone garage door lubricant. Works really good. I got some paint sticks, some old grody paint brushes, probably ones that you might not ever want to use again, at least not for anything else other than this. But you can clean them out good enough to use again the next time. And just some small mixing cups here, because a little bit of this stuff goes a long way, and as you can see, you really don't need a lot of any one color when you're mixing up the paint. So, alright, hang on a second, I'm going to get a little organized and I'll be right back. Okay, looks like we're ready to go. Whenever you need to empty out an entire tube of caulk at one time, you're going to want to cut the tip all the way off, and you're going to want to make that hole in there just as big as possible. Otherwise, you're going to be squeezing till your arm falls off, and you're going to need every bit of your arm strength to mix up this paint. So here we go. Let's just empty this tube of caulk right on into here. Alright, so that's one whole tube right there, so you can see that that's not enough to fill that up. Let me switch out tubes real quick. I don't want to waste any time. Okay, here we go. We're gonna finish this off with what's left in this tube. And that is every bit we can coax out of that one. Alright. I'm just gonna smooth it off with this paint stick real quick. Okay, it's all smoothed off now with the paint stick, and we're ready to put the rock in. So what we need to do first is smooth some dish soap over the surface of this, and also over the surface of the rock, and then we just kind of figure out how we're going to place the rock in there, and then just place it in. So let me smear some dish soap around, and I'll be right back. Okay, let's get a little dish soap all over this rock. Now when I push the rock in there, of course it's going to displace a lot of that silicone that's in there, and because it's got dish soap all over it already, it's not going to be that useful to me. So I'm just going to have to discard that part, but I got a nice big rock because I want to make a nice deep. Alright, so I'm not going to press it all the way down because the weight of the rock will continue to take it down. And then we're just going to let that firm up and see how long it takes to get a skin on it, and I'll let you know when I turn the camera back on how long it's been. Okay, that was about 15 minutes. I was able to pull the rock out. I think it's still pretty delicate right now. I don't think it's going to hold up to rinsing the soap off. So I'm going to let that skin continue to develop. But I'm going to clean up, and I'm going to show you how to mix the paint because we are running out of time. Okay, so to mix the paint, first you put the paint in the small container. And I've tried different steps, but this series of steps works the best. Alright, so you got some paint in there. Now we've got to put some blaster in there. Yeah, see that? Like that? Alright, now we got the paint stick, and we're going to stir, 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 stir. And the more you stir, the more the paint breaks up. It never really settles in. It just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. Alright. Now we're going to need to add some silicone. So I'm going to sit that right there. And need to get a bit of silicone. Alright, so there's a little bit of silicone I just dug out of another cup. Left over from scraping off the top. Alright, let's see. Can you see this now? Alright, so just start mixing it in there, and lots of scraping of the cup, lots of scraping of your stick, lots of stir, 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 stir. Alright, first it's very globby, then it turns into like a sticky oatmeal, and then if you just keep stirring, there's sticky oatmeal. Keep stirring, keep stirring, keep stirring. Scrape, scrape, scrape. Stir. Lordy, we need to hurry. Hopefully I can edit this down a little bit too. Alright, let's squirt a little more blaster in there. Obviously we're going to have to edit this down, so add a little more blaster and just keep stirring. Ah, sticky. A little bit past sticky is what we're shooting for. There we go. Now when you look at that, that's not globby or granular or anything but beautiful, ready to go. So if you wanted it a little bit thinner, which you certainly might, it would be good to be thinner. Go ahead and shoot some more blaster in there. And stir it in. Okay. Anyway, that's how you make the paint. Once the skin is thick enough on your mold, go ahead and take you one of these paint brushes. Spread that paint all down inside. And just go through the different colors for the different layers that you need. I have some red in there, got some slough in there, got some bone white in there. Got some skin color along the top, a little maceration along the edge. There you go. Okay, so demonstrate the uses. Students can measure. They can document their assessment. They can use their nursing words to describe the wound, the characteristics that make it a stage 4, and they can cleanse the wound and pack the wound. And then finally dress the wound. So there we go. That is my stage 4 pressure ulcer. You can make in your very own garage, very inexpensively. Thank you.